Welcome back to Range Anxiety TV, and today we're going to be a little bit more circumspect, we're going to be a little bit more serious, and we're going to be a little bit more professional. Today is towards 2035. Now, this is something I personally am doing. This is what I'm going to do when I finish tuning cars. I'm working on that side of ECU technology in about, couldn't come soon enough. Sorry about that. I do love crackle tunes. So here we go, off course already. In 2035, there's a lot of big stuff going on, and it's going to turn a lot of people on their ear in business. It's going to shut down a lot of business. It's going to leave a lot of business behind. It's going to cause a lot of grief. It's going to cause a lot of happiness. Your job and my job is to make sure that your job is on the right side of what will be here, maybe even sooner than in 10 years' time. Now, this isn't a scare tactic. This isn't a, whatever. Everything you watch on YouTube is fed to you by AI. Everything you get on Facebook is fed to you by AI. You're just a product, really. You are the product of the algorithm. It's really quite scary. And this is why there's so much conspiracy theory and flat earther and stuff going on right now, because people don't know how to handle it. People don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't understand when it's happening to them. And that's my job to tell you. So first thing I'll be doing is dealing with workshops of the future. Now, car workshops, some are going to continue to look like they do now, but they're going to go like this. There's going to be less and less and less of them. There's going to be less cars that they can work on. More modern workshops are going to look like this. So if you are an automotive professional, whether you love them or hate them or disdain them, I mean, I've never met a mechanic that likes his job in 35 years of doing this. Fleetingly, they do. You've got to learn how to work with new EV technology. You've got to work out what you can do to them, how you can make money out of them, what maintenance they actually need, because most of the manufacturers don't have much idea, to tell you the truth, either. Like, Elon, just drive it till it breaks and then book it in for service. Well, there are things you can do, and we have done, to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'll be training people, my friends, clients, and long-term enemies in automotive land, how to do exactly this. So I reckon I've got a handle on it. Also, once all these EVs take places, there's going to be less and less, and this is not a hoax, there's going to be less and less cars that require drivers. Even in Australia now, there is no regulation, as confirmed by Tesla last week, standing in the way of full self-driving in Australia like I thought there was. Nope. The Australia-New Zealand boss has said that we just got to get the product right. So expect full self-driving cars, at least from Tesla, in the next 12 to 18 months in Australia, and the rest following pretty on, closely on maybe after that, providing they can get their software right, which is sometimes easier said than done. And that's in the next couple of years, not the next, that's only 2027. By 2035, there will be a lot less cars that require drivers on our roads, and there will be a lot less need for car ownership. So understand that too, if you're an automotive professional. The days of self-owned cars that you've got to get in and maintain and take down and put BP98 in or whatever you do, that's all coming to an end. And yeah, sure, I don't particularly like that. I would like to muck around with FSD in my Tesla, but I still like to drive, and so do a lot of you that are watching this. But you know what? Not too many kids do. They couldn't give a hot damn. If they can just use a phone and get a driverless car to the door, boom, boom, go somewhere, and it costs $5. So remember, you're not paying a human in that either. It's going to be much cheaper. It's going to be much more effective and simpler, more hygienic. Like, the days of the car aren't coming to an end. Well, they kind of are, but it is changing. You want to know more about that? Talk to me, because it's all I do. It's all I study, And again, battery packs are going to be everywhere. The cost of making batteries now is, forget all the scare campaigns and all the rubbish you see. Sure, there are some hazards with, using batteries as energy storage, just as there were potential hazards with using nuclear power. You don't want to get Fukushimed, let me tell you that. she might need to run more than 3 Mile Island away from it. You know, there are all sorts of dangers with any new technology, and the concept is getting the smart people to harness them, resolve them. Batteries are going to be everywhere. They're already everywhere. They're going to be everywhere. So wrap your head around that. How you can implement batteries into your business, and to a lesser degree your home, and how you can work with them. Again, something I know a little bit about and will be talking to people about, not selling them, just talking. Now, the big one is, of course, AI and sentience. Sentience is, in layman's terms, when something can think for itself, also known as AGI, artificial general intelligence. You know, it's not some pretty looking robot head like that. It's actually like a cortex, a core cluster full of NVIDIA GPUs, you know, basically gaming chips, but tons of them that use enough power that you almost need a nuclear reactor to bloody power the things. Again, there's all sorts of energy problems associated with AI, but I'm talking 10 years into the future, that will be solved, right? There'll be no issues there. And it's going to run your life in very many different ways. It already does as far as media is concerned, right? The pollution and rubbish that gets stuffed down our throats on social media, and which then gets regurgitated on the television, is just horrific. And as each day goes on, it's harder and harder to pick what's AI and what's real. Again, there are some ways of doing it. You got to get sharper and keep on it day by day, but that's something we'll be working with and working through as well. It's a rapidly y equals x squared exponentially changing situation, and it requires 100% full-time study from someone like me to harness. Maybe if you're a bit smarter than me, you could probably do it a bit quicker. But yeah, there we go. Which brings us to robotics. And this is going to be one of the first, outside of full self-driving, one of the first actual useful things, or cheating on uni exams and writing essays for you, that AI can do. And general robotics is going to be huge. And people don't believe it. Oh, yeah, nah, it's all like space jets and stuff. General robotics by 2035, anyone that's everyone will have a humanoid robot in the house, and it will be doing things. Probably not in the house first. Factories, yes. And, you know, let's just take a look at, obviously I'm a big fan of Optimus, which is the Tesla bot. Let's just have a look at what he can do. Now, once you've watched that video, these things are moving around on their own and they're learning. They actually use a juiced up version of the full, well, an altered version of the full self-driving computer from the cars in them. They've got some incredible engineering mechanics in them. Degrees of freedom of movement out of control and advanced, and they will be replacing lots and lots and lots of people. And of course, you know, when the battery runs flat on them, they go and dock themselves, walk back into the wall against the charger and charge before coming off it in 15 minutes again and operating for another half a day. These things are going to be everywhere. They're going to replace a lot of humans, and most importantly, they're not going to make mistakes. The most common question I get asked though is, why, if you're building a robot for a specific task, would you have a humanoid shape? Well, that is because the entire world around us is designed at this stage for humans. So to fit, function, the form factor for this environment has to be humanoid. So that makes a bit of sense, right? If you're going to sit in a car or, you know, operate a laptop or run or jump or whatever, you need that humanoid form factor to do it within the physical constraints of the world that we as humans have built. There is another key reason though, and that is training. The big thing about AI is training the network, training the system, trying to make it self-training. Well, YouTube happens to be one of the biggest sort of clusters of training information that there is for many, many different tasks. Most everything on it is in humanoid form. So by getting something like Optimus to sit there and watch YouTube, it can actually be trained of what people are doing and learn without you having to instruct it. Sounds almost space age and like would never happen. It's happening right now. And by 2035, it'll be commonplace. And the dumbest of AI and robots will be smarter than the smartest human, unfortunately. But let's just hope when they're typing in the hue for YouTube. They don't actually type in red and get red tube. You might even have to beep that out. I'm not sure how, unless they're, I don't know. But yeah, look, the only potential for error is in human training error. Once the things are self-training, there will be no error. And that right there is the end of the game. So if you think this is scary, if you've got a business that you think could benefit from knowing more about this, this is what I'm going to devote the rest of my life to. Why? So I really like it, and I really like where we're going. But we've got to make sure we stay on the right side of history with it and don't make any mistakes with it and don't mess it up as humans are prone to do. So reach out, drop me a comment, and we'll go from there.